I got some breaking news. No doubt about it. Okay, folks, here it is. This is what is breaking in this morning. It's officially. It must be firing season across the major leagues, folks. And for the MLB news for September actually it's not September anymore. So for October the 3rd, 2009, I got some breaking news. It looks like JP Ricciardi days as the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays is officially over, effective today. According to a report from the MLB trade rumors, according to MLB.com's Noah Cosley, JP Ricciardi is leaving his position as Blue Jays Senior Vice President of Baseball Operations, General Manager, effectively immediately. According to SI.com's John Heyman, adds that Assistant GM Alex Atropoulos has been promoted. So it looks like Alex Atropoulos, the Greek, has been promoted to probably some position in the organization, probably vice president. So now they're going to go look for a general manager. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, here's some other news and notes from the situation. This was a tough decision. Okay, this is what I'm reading. This was a tough decision and a difficult one for me personally, as I have enjoyed JP's friendship and his perspective on the game, said Blue Jays acting president and CEO Paul Beeston in a statement. JP has put an incredible amount of effort into improving the team and has brought along a number of great young players. However, I feel that it is time for a change, and accordingly, we have decided to move on. Here's from TSN now. We're going to read one more article. The TSN article mentions that Atropoulos is taking over on an interim basis. However, the press release does not confirm that. Brett Gumbley, producer of Sirius Satellite Radio, XM Radio, MLB homepage tweets that Atropoulos will remain GM as long as Paul Beeston is the team president. Make sure you stay tuned for confirmation. Ricciardi has been running the show in Toronto since 2001, the 2001 season, and only once has this team finished above third place in the brutal AL East. His most memorable and regrettable move may have been the 7-year, $126 million extension given to center fielder Vernon Wells. Wow. Who has just performed hit 266, a 318 on base percentage, hitting 428 since he inked the deal. So no, it wasn't a good move. I mean, the Vernon Wells signing. I mean, listen to some people on TV. You hear what they got to say. Jeff Blair of the Toronto Sun. I mean, you hear Bob McCown. They just criticize JP Ricciardi. Some of the moves he made weren't just his responsibility. I think Paul Godfrey had something to do with that Vernon Wells deal. I think this is a bad situation that could be a good situation. But in the end, it's not a good situation. When you see this team struggling the way they've been struggling the last few years, it's never good. And according to some other reports I've been reading on the internet, it really looks like Cito Gaston's really in some big trouble with his players. There's some big-name players on the Toronto Blue Jays like Aaron Hill, Kevin Millar, and a few other younger players that I don't know. They just don't relate to Cito Gaston. That doesn't make no sense to me. Cito Gaston is one of the greatest teachers of baseball and baseball history. He's the reason why they won those World Series in the early 90s. And his leadership has developed the likes of Roy Halladay to become the pitcher that he's become. Look at Ricky Romero. He would never got a shot at the big leagues if it wasn't for Cito Gaston. He believed in Ricky Romero. He's come on the scene. He's really become a star. And, for these players to criticize one of the greatest managers, I think, of all time in Major League Baseball, up there with Tony La Russa, Tommy Lasorda, Jim Leyland out in Detroit, You can go on and on. Joe Torre out in Los Angeles for the Dodgers. Well, even though the Dodgers are struggling right now, they might lose their division to the Colorado Rockies. I want to say congratulations to the Colorado Rockies on making the playoffs. The Twins are still in the hunt against Detroit Tigers. They won yesterday. Detroit lost yesterday. It was a terrible loss for the Detroit Tigers. They have the opportunity to win their division. They just needed one win. Now, if the Twins win today and Detroit loses today, they'll be tied. And the Twins will have an opportunity on Sunday to win their division. Wouldn't that be something? And the Detroit Tigers, they missed the playoffs altogether. So the pressure's on Detroit right now. I think the fans are really criticizing, manager Jim Leyland. They need to turn it on. They need to get the pitching down pat, and they need the bats to come to life. And this is when you have to become stars. And I think that's the important thing. Okay, one more piece of news across the major leagues. It looks like Kevin Towers of the San Diego Padres has been fired. According to this report, according to this report, it says Kevin Towers, longest tenured general manager in baseball, was let go by the Padres last night. He was at the helm for 498 of Trevor Hoffman's saves, 740 of Tony Gwynn's hits, but the team went 1,107, actually 1 million or something like that, close to a million under. 1,107,000 under with his watch. So there is still one more year left on his contract, which Colt says makes him one of the top 5 or top 6 highest paid GMs in baseball. Tim Sullivan of the San Diego Union Tribune spoke to the team CEO Jeff Moran about the situation, who was very complimentary of Towers, as you'd expect. Okay, this is what it says. The organization is indebted to Kevin for not only the 14 years he served as a general manager, but for the fact that the club is well positioned to go forward into the future. Moran told the Union Tribune in an exclusive interview before Friday night's game at Petco Park, "I think we need to build a better baseball operations department, better skilled at the areas we're committed to growing forward. I admire Towers. His skills are very much respected. His relationships exist around the game, but I think over the next period of time, our focus is on more strategic approach or drafting development that has a chance to compete in the division." Okay, we got some other news and notes. Looks like the Reds, some rumors here. What does it say here? It looks like Dusty Baker. He's looking at maybe adding Paul Janis as a starting shortstop for 2010. Edison Volquez is pleased. He'll probably be back for next season by All-Star break next year after Tommy John surgery. Jay Bruce is no longer in the plans this winter to play in the Dominican. Well, sometimes players, most players usually go play out in the Dominican Republic. They play in the Winter League. So that's a league where you can go there and play and work on your game until the next season starts up in the spring. So there's not much really new news. The Orioles have picked up Dave Tremblay's option for 2010. Well, I think the Orioles, man, they need a whole lot of hope. I can't say they've had the hope. I can't say they've had anything in this world. But the only thing they've had has been losing. They've just been a loser for so long. If they could ever turn that around, who knows? They might have a chance in the future. Well, this is Mark Spencer for the MLB news for 2009, October 3rd, 2009. So long and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.